Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to Nanabe's Kitchen. Today I am bringing you one of my husband's favorite ways of enjoying fried tilapia. Let's make crispy fried tilapia smothered with a tangy gravy or sauce, inspired by Swahili Samaki wa Kupaka. You're going to need tamarind for this, and this is tamarind that is still inside the pot. So I remove the shells and we're going to soak it next with some hot water. The soaking process helps to soften the flesh of the tamarind, making it easier to release it or remove it from the seeds. This should take about 30 minutes after you cover it with a cling film. After 30 minutes, the water should also go from hot to workable, where you can go in with your hand and remove the fruit. The fish is ready, cleaned, and ready to go. So we're combining some crushed white pepper, all-purpose seasoning, and some salt, and that is all she wrote, to coat the fish before we fry it. All right, so we're just going to season and spice it up with just these three simple ingredients. The all-purpose seasoning can be substituted with your bouillons. For this recipe, you're going to need 3 medium-sized tilapia cleaned and gutted. I have also scored them with just 3 scores on each side so the dry rub penetrates it to the bone before we fry them, okay? So I'm just coating it nicely and generously and evenly on both sides inside the gut and also the head area, making sure that the dry rub also goes into the scoring incisions I have made. I also cut the mouth of my tilapia off. We just were taught to do it that way by our mothers and our culinary instructors, okay? Whomever those people might be. You have to cut the fish's mouth off, all right? You don't want this fish talking to you. All right. So there is that. They are all coated nicely. Don't forget to go inside the belly. That is a very important area to coat with your dry rub. Also, we're going to mince some ginger here. And here's how I go about doing that. All right. I thinly slice them into thin slabs first. And then I turn them around and mince them finely. And I do likewise with some shallot onions, some garlic, and also 1 scotch bonnet chili. This is all being prepped while the fish is marinating, and I just let it sit out at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Our tamarind is done soaking. The water is cool enough to where I can work with it without it burning me. And also the fruit or the flesh is nice and soft. So it's going to be easy to separate the seeds from it. Now let's talk about why I think this recipe is so perfect for fish like tilapia. Tilapia can either come from the ocean or from freshwater. The freshwater, as I've mentioned on several of my tilapia recipes I've shared on this platform, can have a distinct freshwater taste because the tilapia in freshwater feeds on algae, so they end up tasting like that algae. And the great thing is that algae taste can be masked depending on the ingredients you choose to use. And tamarind is one great way, one sure way to achieve that. I have strained the fruit through the strainer, and here now we have a silky smooth tamarind sauce. I'm not going to use all of this because that's just way too much tang. I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons for the recipe and set the rest aside in the fridge. I will use for other recipes. Now we're going to fry the tilapia. So here goes some oil, and I'm using avocado oil. I have some scallions on hand which are about to go bad, so I use them as aromatics into the oil before I place the tilapia in. Now we're going to fry the tilapia, one tilapia at a time, so that we can get the skin to be nice and crispy, leaving the inside and the meats moist and juicy. That was the third and last piece of tilapia. They all look so good. It is now time to prepare the smothering sauce or gravy. And for that, I'm using some cold pressed coconut oil, and I've also placed into the oil some fresh rosemary. Cook that for a few seconds or until the aroma of the rosemary becomes apparent in the air. And then go in with your finely chopped shallot onions. And you want to cook the shallot onions until they are translucent, and then follow up with your minced ginger. Stir that in. The goal is to just sweat these ingredients. You don't want any caramelization just yet, all right? So now we're going to add the minced garlic, followed by the minced scotch bonnet. And then also you want to season with your salt and all-purpose seasoning or your bouillons. Chicken bouillon will work perfectly here. Stir that in as well. We are cooking on medium heat, by the way. At this point, we have been cooking for under 2 minutes, and I go in with some curry powder, just a small amount of it. I really enjoy the flavor of the scotch bonnet chili in this recipe. It must not be confused with habanero. They are both chilies and they are both from the same family. However, the scotch bonnet chili does have a fruitier, sweeter chili taste than the habanero. So if you have that, please go for it. You'll love it in here. Here comes our tamarind sauce. I've added 2.5 tablespoons of it into the wok, and I'm going to stir that in. I'm going to cook it a further 2 minutes or until the sauce starts drying up a bit, and then I'm going to add some homemade tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is sweet, so it's going to help to balance the tanginess from the tamarind sauce. It's also going to bring some color and, of course, some volume, all right, which we need here. Now you want to cook a further 10 minutes of adding the tomato sauce or until you see the oil resurfacing. That should be your indication that the flavors are now perfectly married and the sauce is ready to be smothered onto our perfectly fried tilapia fish. The moment we've all been waiting for is here. Smothering this crispily fried tilapia into the smothering sauce. Oh my gosh, friends. This was good. Simply put, quite delicious, friends. Yes. And you want to flip it over and take your time with this. Don't rush it, all right? Even cover the pots and let it cook on medium heat for about 2 minutes. That will help to seep the smothering sauce into the very flesh of each tilapia, and do one at a time. We served it with some cassava couscous, and when my husband was eating it, he was wearing a grin at the same time. Friends, imagine that. A grin while eating. Yes, this recipe will make you do that. It'll make you do that. It was quite lovely, friends. I hope you give it a shot. My take on Samaki wa Kupaka. Friends and family, this is worth trying, so please make sure you try it. All right, what you get from this here is that tang. It's a unique sweet tang that literally makes your mouth water, because that's what acid that has been expertly meshed with umami and sweetness and savoriness will do to your taste buds, and your mouth will water. Guaranteed, just because scientifically that's proven, okay? And just look at that. It is visually mouth-watering. The smothering sauce must be used for exactly that, friends. Don't digress. Make sure you smother this fish, okay? Take every drop of the sauce and place it on the fish where it belongs. Friends and family, I hope you have learned a thing or two, and more importantly are inspired to try this smothered tilapia, another exciting way of enjoying your tilapia. Served with acheke or cassava couscous, some fresh thinly sliced onions, tomatoes, and serrano chilies. Make it a great day and have fun, especially in that kitchen. Thank you, beautiful person, for watching the video all the way to the end. Kindly leave me a comment and subscribe down below, and don't forget to share the video as well. Also, watch more videos. It is chop time, and here in Anaba's kitchen, chop time is always yes, friends. So pull up a chair. We are all friends and family here.